For more analysis, let's bring in the editor-in-chief at thehill.com, Bob Cusack. Bob, so good to see you. All right, so we've just learned now that this announcement will likely not happen today. It is expected tomorrow. My question for you, is all of this speculation good for the Harris and fill-in-the-blank campaign? I mean, does the average voter care?
I think so. I mean, it certainly attracts headlines and in a good way. I think whomever she picks, the party is going to unite around that running mate. At the same time, then the ticket has to answer questions on where they stand on policy, and Harris has pivoted on some key issues. But I do think it does matter, especially when I know a lot of people say, well, VPs don't matter. Well, when you're talking about 10,000 votes or 5,000 votes in whether it's Arizona, which is a battleground you and Joe just talked about, or Pennsylvania, that can be the race. So if you pick a good running mate, you can win. Harris was viewed as a very good running mate, and that's part of the reason they won in 2020. Sarah Palin, not so much, and John McCain lost. So I do think it's very important.
All right, every decision matters, as you just told us. Can she go wrong with any of these potential picks there, the 6 men we saw on the screen?
Well, Shapiro, I think, would be a bit controversial, not super controversial. He's very popular in his state, and honestly, whoever wins Pennsylvania is probably going to win this race. So in a lot of ways, it makes sense. He's popular governor from Pennsylvania. Okay, however, the divide in the Democratic Party has been over Israel and Hamas, and certainly I think that could, his prior statements on Israel and that conflict, I think could boomerang, and that's one where I think she's got to be careful on. At the same time, Nichole, it all comes down to chemistry. She's doing interviews. We've all interviewed people and been interviewed. Sometimes they go well, sometimes they don't. We don't know how well Shapiro or Kelly or Walz or anybody else has done, and that can make the difference.
And Bob, another big story that we're talking about today, which also, connects to politics, is this mess on the stock market. The former president, Donald Trump, he has taken to social media. He is blaming the Biden administration, but in the past, we have seen him try to take credit for market highs during this current administration. Do you think this massive sell-off could end up working in the favor of either one of these campaigns, potentially?
Oh, if this slide continues, maybe not at this rate, but if this economic slump were to continue for a month or two, and then it would be a slump, not just a 1 day or 1 week thing, then it's certainly going to help Trump and Vance. And that's where Harris, I think, has to answer questions about where does she stand on the economy? How would she make it better? Where does she stand on the expiring Trump tax cuts? Where does she stand on the corporate tax rate? Those type of things. I definitely think anytime the economy takes a tumble, the party that is in control of the White House usually suffers.
And we know that the former president loves social media. There is new reporting from thehill.com that the Trump campaign has somewhat faltered in responding to this surge of momentum behind Vice President Harris. Polls are showing that they are still, very much tied, almost close matchups. But there are some polls showing that Harris is starting to pull ahead. Is the Trump campaign still kind of trying to figure out a workable strategy at this point?
Oh, definitely. They have not been on the same page. Some have called her DEI hire. Others have said, which I think is probably the best way to go, is focus on policies. Republicans have the polling advantage clearly on most issues. And so if they're talking about policy, then they should be winning. But if they're talking about a race or all that kind of stuff, I think that's a real turnoff to independence. And that's where Biden won in 2020. He won independents. There's some preliminary data showing that Harris is starting to win over independents. Remember, these independents, they've been looking for one way to go, looking at third parties because they've not been fond of Biden or Trump. Well, now there's a new person at the top of the ticket. It's Harris. So I think they have to quickly decide what's the best way to go after her, where the criticism doesn't boomerang on them. And we've seen that with Trump recently.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.